A month has gone by and Lily was starting to eat up mushed up food. She was soon going to start growing teeth within a couple of months. Although help hasn't arrived yet, Dipper and his family agreed to never go to the forbidden part of the island ever again. And to this day, they have kept their promise to never go there. Wendy was on her own exploring the island, keeping an eye out for any sign of danger. She climbed up a rocky terranean hill, and she could see a whole ocean at top. She looked around to see a ship heading towards the island. At first she was anxious, but excited when she saw the ship. She grabbed her binoculars and looked through them. The ship contained her friends in Gravity Falls. There was Seuss, Robbie, Manly Dan, many of their other friends on the ship. Guys! Guys! Wendy screamed with tears of joy as she ran down from the hut to the shore. Dipper lightened up their signal, and he, along with Pacifica and Mabel, also saw the ship, and they were getting excited when they saw it. As Wendy was there, she saw that Mabel was holding her niece in a towel. I saw a ship that has Seuss, Robbie, and my dad and our friends from Gravity Falls. I know. I saw them through my binoculars, Pacifica explained. Let's go grab our things and carry back home, like our stuff from the cruise ship, Mabel said, handing Wendy her daughter Lily. We're finally getting out of here, Wendy. I knew this day was going to come, Dipper said. Then he alone can see Seuss and Manly Dan parking their lifeboats on shore, and they saw their friends carrying their stuff to the boat. Wendy had gotten her and Dipper's things together. Even Spock the Falcon helped too. Once everyone had a lifeboat and contained Robbie and Tambry there, they rowed the lifeboat back to the ship they came from. Can Spock come with us? Dipper asked Wendy. Well, I guess he can, but he'll have to be released in Gravity Falls though. They're wild birds, remember? But we can get a pet when we get back home. Wendy answered Dipper's question, and then they all cleaned out their hut before heading towards the lifeboats. Seuss, we thought you gave up on finding us, Mabel said, excited to see Seuss. We never have given up. Almost every month we search on the sea to find you all. When we heard about the cruise ship, we had to find out if you were all okay somewhere. We didn't give up though. Thanks to some of the wreck on the cruise ship, we found this island, Seuss said. Why did it take you months to find us? Dipper questioned. Most people gave up on trying to find you guys, assuming you were all dead. But we didn't give up, so we kept on looking, Seuss replied. Wendy! Oh God, I'm so glad to see you again, Manly Dan said, hugging Wendy. I thought I lost my only girl. I knew you'd find me, Dad. I'm glad you didn't give up, Wendy replied. Then Manly Dan took notice of Lily, and then it hit him that Wendy had a baby on the island, meaning he was now a grandfather. And I have a granddaughter now, seeing that you had a baby on the island. It makes me a proud grandpa, Manly Dan said, holding his granddaughter carefully in his strong arms. Just be sure to support the back of her neck, Wendy reminded her father. I'm glad we're going home, Pacifica said to Mabel, hugging her girlfriend. I'm glad we are too. Want to go on a bar date at home? Mabel asked Pacifica. Sure, Mabel. The drink's on me, girl, Pacifica replied, kissing Mabel's cheek. Who's the Falcon's name? Seuss asked, seeing Spock sitting on his shoulder. That's Spock. He's one of our bird companions on this island. He saved Mabel's life when she stepped on the stonefish. We'll explain the whole story on the ship, Wendy answered. We're glad you're all safe and okay, Manly Dan said, seeing at the hut they built with Grunkle Stan's help. Someone else may get stuck on this island and see what you guys did. They could sure take over the hut and even try to learn out what you guys did to survive. Let's go home now. We'll tell the whole story on the way back, Wendy replied, as she and her family got in the lifeboats with Spock, heading back to Oregon. After 2 weeks of returning to Gravity Falls, Wendy and Dipper moved them into the Mystery Shack, turning one of the bedrooms into Lily's room. It was tiring to make one of the bedrooms into the baby's room, but it was good to finally be home. It was nighttime where Mabel and Pacifica were out on a date, leaving Wendy and Dipper to tend to look after their daughter. It's so good to be home. I was missing this place since walking in here for the first time in about a year, Wendy said, feeding her daughter with some baby food. We've been on the island for a year, Wendy? Are you sure? Dipper asked. I think so. I must have lost track of days, Wendy replied. May 12th will be the day Lily was born. Pacifica said that. We'll never forget Lily's first birthday, It'll be in a year from now, Dipper said, as Wendy headed upstairs to put Lily into her crib for bed. Dipper sighed and looked outside of the mystery shack, missing the falcon that helped them save Mabel's life. Ever since returning to Gravity Falls, they had set Spock free into the wild. He may have a mate and a family on his own by now. The memories of this island always flash and go for Dipper, but the native tribe of that forbidden part of the jungle will always haunt him from time to time. The birth of Lily, however, was a blessing to him and Wendy. Knowing that Lily and Wendy had no complications before and after childbirth, it was a good sign, as that can happen to any woman or child. When Wendy came back downstairs, she sat beside Dipper on the couch. Lily's sleeping right now, and since it's 8:30, what do you want to do for dinner? Wendy asked her husband. I'm not sure, Wendy. I know that Mabel and Pacifica have gone out on a date, so why not we order takeout? We'll eat here as Lily will sleep, Dipper said. What do you feel like eating tonight? Wendy asked. How about something from the diner? I could pick it up, Dipper suggested. Okay, that place is open till 11. I can do that. What do you like? Wendy asked again. How about a cheeseburger meal with fries and a root beer? Dipper suggested. I'll get the same too, with extra cheese on it, Wendy said, getting the car keys and getting her coat on, seeing that it was night and it was a tad chilly outside. I'll go order and pick it up from there, and then you can look after Lily while I'm gone. Sounds like a plan, Wendy. Can we have more kids? Dipper asked, before Wendy opened the door to leave. Maybe when Lily's a year or two older. We could discuss more about that beforehand, Wendy said, heading out of the mystery shack. The whole night Dipper had gone through on the island was mainly helping Wendy out with her baby. Sleepless nights were hard at first, but he got used to it over time. Lily was sleeping peacefully during the duration while Wendy was out, and when Wendy came back from picking up dinner, they had a nice dinner date at home. The island was a big adventure, but it was fun at the same time. Sure, they still miss Grunkle Stan, but they will never forget him until the day they die. Someday when Lily's older, Dipper and Wendy will tell her the story of how her parents got stuck on the island with her aunts, and even someday, Lily may follow in her mother's footsteps.